Hello viewers, welcome to Hygieia Agile IT training. In today's session, we will talk about data types and variables. What is a data type? Data types are classification of or categorization of data items. It represents the kind of value that tells what operations can be performed on a particular data. You name it number, string, or whatsoever. Types are actually, you can think in a Python programming language as classes, and variables are instances of those classes, like objects of those classes. What is a variable? Variables are nothing but some reserved memory locations to store values. That means when you create a variable, you reserve some space in memory. So that means you declare a variable x is of some data type. You reserve X, you name a particular memory location with the name X. The interpreter allocates memory. You can store integers, you can store decimals, characters, strings, booleans in that memory. You know the beauty of Python? Python variables do not need to explicitly declare. You can start using the variable directly. So the declaration happens automatically when you assign a value to a variable. There are many data types in Python. Broadly, you can classify them numeric data types, sequence types, Boolean, set, and dictionary data types. The numeric data type represent the data in which has a numeric value. It can be an integer, a floating number, or even complex numbers. These values, we can subclassify them as int, float, complex, as you see on the screen. For example, numeric types integer, float, complex. For example, if you see a is equal to 10, automatically the declaration happens and the value is assigned to a, the value 10. So similarly, 20.35 is assigned to a here, and 8u. So the complex numbers you can say with this 8u or something like, you can define that. All right. So now sequence type. Let us think about sequence type. So sequence type, if the sequence is an ordered collection of similar or different data types. You can combine both of them as well. Sequences allow to store multiple values in an organized way. So even in sequence types, you have three varieties: the list, tuple, and range. Collection of data. It's really flexible, as the items in list do not need to be of the same type. So you can give any combinations. Then tuple. It's also a list, as its parent says, is an ordered collection of objects. The only difference between the tuple and the list, you see, tuples cannot be modified after it is created. Okay, so the list can be modified. So it represents, normally we say tuple data type as a tuple only, tuple. Then Boolean, we declare x is equal to true, y is equal to false, z is equal to none. See, the data type that one has only two built-in values, either true or false, and or none. So Boolean objects that are equal to true, that means truthy, and those equal to false are false. But non-Boolean objects can be evaluated in Boolean context as well and determined to be the true or false. For the function print. So print, if you print, it will just print a new line character. If you print with some value hello, for example, it will print the hello along with the new line character. So there is another function called type, which will tell what data type a variable belongs. So for example, you see, I declare a variable a 10. Okay, I need to see what type it is. I know it is integer, but I wanted to see in the system type a. It's integer class. So we can use throughout these practicals, these two functions to see what values we are defining, what data types. All right, let's go ahead and number data types. If I declare a is equal to 10, and if I wanted to know what type it is, print, I use the same way. Data type of a is type of a. So it is whatever the string that I gave, it is printed as it is, and it is also evaluated this function. It is of type integer. Okay, let's go quickly. B is equal to 5.7. What do you think this is? As we explained, let's print this. Print type of B. It's a float. It has a decimal number. Let's go much more differently. C is equal to 2 plus 8j. Just I give some additional character. It's a combination. What is the print data type of C? Complex. So these are combining a string with the number. So it's a complex data type. Let's proceed with to understand the sequence. We can declare the list as below. List always with the square brackets. You can create the list with the square brackets. So with this, let's try what is the list contains. Print what this list has. Just empty error actually. This is an error. It's equal to IGA. Hello IGA. Close the square brackets. Now print list. You know what happened? Now I explain the case sensitiveness of this. Here there is a wrong. I will tell what is wrong, and here also you see this list capital L and this is small list. See, the small list is I assigned to the empty list and I printed like it's a function. It is definitely an error. So that is the reason you see it is trying to call and which is not callable. So I declared another list and I stored a value in it and I printed instead of this, I printed this one. So since this is printed list without function this time, you see, and it printed empty value. So whatever that it is here, it printed this. Now let us print this capital list. Hello, yeah. You see, this is called case sensitive. Python language is case sensitive. So the list with all the small letters, the list with init capital letters are different. So we can store multiple values in the list like, so I define another list x equal to ABC XYZ print list ABC XYZ, and I can individually access these values. How? Print. Now I have in my list, I have two values. So how I can access this one, how I can access this one. So there is an index automatically created by the system. So this is referenced with 0 and this is referenced with 1. See, list X, I want the position, whatever the value in the position 0 that you need to display. So ABC. Similarly, print list X, position Z, position 1. This XYZ. So in that way we can print the values. You can also add multi types of list. I mean list having multiple list within it. So list X equal to bracket, another bracket, like I say geeks, or I close this, and again I can say hello. This is what, oh, there is an error. See what is the error? Yeah, this bracket is not closed. So I defined this list. Now print list X. The objects are printed. Let's see the tuple. The tuple is also a list type object. We will declare like with the word tuple. Tuple equal to, this is a round brackets. So round it's not curly bracket, it's a curve brackets. So print tuple 20. So let's fill the tuple with values. Tuple 1 equal to, actually this is, we are declaring a variable tuple 1 equal to hello, how, geek, print 1. So you have the values printed below. Yeah. Let's proceed to Boolean. So we try to understand Booleans in the while learning reserved words. Now once again we can touch the values. So print type of, oh, what it can be, Boolean type. You will see the tuple type also, print type of tuple 1. We didn't see this, so it's a tuple class. Similarly, print type of list X, list type. See, it's printing list type. This is tuple. So in the same way, Boolean is also printing print type of false. Also Boolean. All right, we have come towards the end of the session. We will still need to learn data types more. We will continue on the data types even in the next session. Thank you for watching.